you don't need millions of views to make millions of dollars. And to prove it to you, this is my client, Dan Bolton. As you can see from his YouTube channel, he doesn't have that many subscribers. He doesn't even have that many views on his videos. Like on average, he makes about, 1,000 to 2,000 views. And yet he's getting DMs like this every single day. Hey, just watched one of your YouTube videos and I want to work with you. Hey Dan, I've binge watched your content lately and love to chat more about possibly working together, getting your help on something. My intuition is leading me to binge watch your videos. Now, what this has resulted is millions of dollars in his business. On average, he made over $144,000 in his business. That is $1.7 million in a year, all from the power of YouTube. And he did it without ads, without cold DMs, and without even hopping on sales calls. He did it through the power of YouTube. He turned YouTube into his #1 sales channel. But you're probably wondering how. How does a coach with a tiny audience outsell coaches and creators with hundreds of thousands of subscribers? Well, it wasn't his handsome good looks. It wasn't his fancy studio setup, because he doesn't have one. And there was no secret hack that he was doing that maybe you or I aren't just aware of. The real answer is right in front of us. It's clear, it's simple. And that is, not all attention is created equal. You see, views don't pay the bills. Attracting the right viewer does. And so in this video that I'm going to walk you through right now, I'm going to walk you through the simple process and how you can turn viewers into buyers and reveal the secret system that my clients pay me thousands of dollars every single month for free. Right? I run a multi-six-figure done-for-you YouTube agency working with some of the top creators, coaches, consultants in the game to turn their YouTube channel into the #1 sales engine. Now, if this sounds like something you're interested in and you want to learn more beyond this video, because I can't put it all into one, tutorial, I have a school community that you can join absolutely for free as of right now. And I'm going to be revealing all the other systems that go into, helping my clients get clients when it comes to YouTube. And so that link is in the description. If you want to turn your YouTube channel into your #1 sales engine, then that community is for you. Now, if you're new to my world and you want to know why the heck you should listen to me, well, my name is Kyler Miles, and I've been doing this for over 7 years, creating content. I run a multiple six-figure done-for-you agency at the moment, and I'm a husband. I am a new father. My daughter was just born 3 weeks ago, and I'm incredibly tired, but I'm also incredibly proud and excited. And more importantly, at least for you, I've been doing this, yes, for 7 years, but I've also been able to help hundreds of entrepreneurs in multiple different industries, but specifically and especially in the last 3 years, the coaching community world. So if you run a course, if you have a high ticket coaching, a one-on-one group coaching or course, this is exactly for you. Right? And these are just some of the results we've gotten. We've gotten DMs of people from clients who want to work with us because of the YouTube videos we promote. We've helped clients get hundreds of thousands of views on their videos and their channels that make, almost millions of dollars, skyrocketing to 40, 50, even $60,000 months, all for the power of YouTube. And that's not the only thing it's done. It's also helped me to meet Gary Vee. I was on Tea with Gary Vee show. I got to meet Dan Martell. I got to read his book, got him to sign it. It was incredible. Natasha Graziano, if you don't know who she is, she's in the top 10 podcasting world. She's a UK podcaster who lives in LA now. She's like on Netflix and this huge star. She has almost 14 million followers on Instagram. Huge. And we helped her create content and create content for her YouTube channel. I've been hired by school.com. Alex Mosey, Sam Evans hired me and my team to document the school games. They ran the school games for 6 months. Every single month they flew us out and we documented the journey of these winners and their stories and everything. It was such an incredible feeling. And this was all because of my content. Now, I want to preface this. I don't have a massive audience. I don't have thousands of subscribers. I don't get thousands of views. I maybe crack 500 to 800 views on a video, but it's just because of what I'm going to reveal to you in this video of like the results that you can have if you create content in the right way. Now, I want to share a quick mistake that so many coaches, consultants, and entrepreneurs are making. And if you skip this step and you just jump to, the secret system, you're going to miss everything, right? You're going to miss the thing that'll actually put you on the map and why the system works. Because if you don't understand the strategy and the methodology behind the system, it's not going to work for you. So the secret is this, and the mistake is this. You are probably running the wrong marketing model. We learn from, the greats that there are different business models that we can run that fit different, nuances. If you can have a lifestyle business, or you can have a scaling business, or you can have a coaching model. There's different models that we can run, right? One-on-one, group, whatever, right? Well, there's actually different marketing models that you can run as well. And in my experience, there are kind of two different, marketing models that I see most often, right? And so the red is what's most common, and the green is what you probably will want to have, right? Now, before I reveal it to you, I want you to take a second, and I have 4 signals that'll tell you which marketing model you have right now. So if one of these 4 signals is you probably have the red marketing model, and I'm going to reveal them right now. So inconsistent leads and sales. If you don't have a predictable way to get clients, get leads consistently, where you are not stressing about when your next client is, then that is a big red flag, right? If content feels like a chore, right? If, creating content is just like hard and it's an uphill battle, that's a signal. If you feel invisible to the market, like no one knows who you are, what's the saying? How's it go? If they don't know you, they can't trust you, right? So this is huge. If you're not known in the market at least a little bit, then it's really, really hard to get trust, right? And then you're having objection after objection on sales calls. If you're having a lot of objections, you have a low kind of conversion rate, or you're just like not a natural salesperson, right? Then this is some of the signals that you have weak marketing. The marketing model you focus on is weak marketing. Now, don't get me wrong, a lot of us have this, and I also had this for a long, long time, and I'm still getting out of it, if I'm being frank. It's very hard. And what this is when we have weak marketing, it makes selling harder. It makes business harder. It makes standing out harder. It makes attracting clients harder. It makes being visible harder. It makes poor engagement harder. It makes longer sales cycles. It makes missed opportunities. Weak marketing creates business that gets hard. And I don't know about you, but I'd rather do business on easy mode, do business that's fun, that invokes my zone of genius, that I can get excited about and not dread, because I didn't become an entrepreneur just to be trapped in another 9-to-5 job, when in reality it's not a 9-to-5, it's a 24/7, 365 job. Right? So what you want to do first before we reveal the system is we have to change our model, our marketing model, and shift it from weak marketing to strong marketing. Now, here's what it looks like when you have strong marketing. And this is a perfect example of what Dan does, right? Dan has strong marketing. Dan was able to stand out in a sea of online coaches. He's able to have shorter sales cycles, to have clients pre-sold, not even pre-sold, just sold without a sales call. He was having high visibility, right? He was able to have high engagement and new opportunity, all because he had strong marketing. His marketing model was so strong, he didn't have to worry about sales at all. So let's take a practical example of what strong marketing looks like. Strong marketing in action, and this just happened, so it's fresh in my mind, is Alex Hormozi's $100 million models book launch, okay? He turned a $27.99 book into $100 million. He did it in 3 days. He sold 3.3 million books. He broke a Guinness World Record, and he did it with his personal brand, with content, and of course with ads, right? But he didn't do any sales calls, right? Now, something very important. We may think he has a big audience, but when you put it into perspective of some of the top, most followed people online, he doesn't even crack in the top 100. Okay. He doesn't crack the top 100. And he made this analogy on a podcast that he knows TikTokers with triple the following that have 13 failed launches. So this just shows that strong marketing doesn't need millions of views or millions of followers or subscribers to make millions of dollars. In retrospect, he made $100 million with maybe 1 million followers. So you understand the logic here? He 10x'd his outcome, not because of his following, because of strong marketing, right? So strong marketing beats big following every single time. So do not think you need to have lots of views and a big subscriber base or following to make lots of money, guys. You don't need it, okay? In order to turn a viewer into a buyer, you only need strong marketing, okay? Now, I know what you're thinking. Okay, Kyler, but how do we do this? How do we build strong marketing, okay? How do we turn the viewer into a buyer? So there's 3 stages of strong marketing, and this is the system, okay? Now we're getting to the nuts and bolts of like how we turn a viewer into a buyer. So to turn a viewer into a buyer, stage 1 is all about attraction over attention. I want you to think of these 2 scenarios, okay? If I'm out at a park, I could grab a microphone, plugged into an amp, and I could shout and I could get attention, and everyone would, hey, listen, look at me, right? And do you think that'd be a good way to get their attention? Maybe, yes. I think people would look at me, but would they buy if I say, hey, I got cookies down here, come on down? Or if I said, hey, come pay me $100 and I'll do this for you. Do you think that they would actually want it? Now, let's think of another scenario. Let's say I'm in a park, and instead of a microphone, I have a sign, and a sign has very clear wording. The best cookies in Vancouver. I live in Vancouver, Canada, right? And that just attracts people, and people come up to me, oh, tell me about your cookies, or tell me about this, right? So the difference is, yes, attention, you can get eyeballs, but to turn that attention into buyers is very difficult. It's way easier and using strong marketing to attract our ideal viewer, ideal buyer through attraction-based marketing, right? So just so we understand we're all on the same playing field, the reason why these 3 different YouTubers, Diary of a CEO, Iman Ghazi, right? They have a second channel. Often, look, Iman Ghazi has Iman Ghazi Business, Alfie Robertson Business. He is Behind the Diary of a CEO. So why are these huge entrepreneurs that have massive followings starting brand new channels? Like, wouldn't you think that'd be more logical to use their big audience? Well, no, it's because they understand the attraction versus attention stage. They understand that although they have 11.8 million subscribers, that they will make way more money in Behind the Diary or Iman Ghazi Business because it's very specific content to a specific buyer, and they're attracting the right viewer. Right? So I referenced this a little bit earlier that Alex Hormozi knows of people with 50 million followers that have 13 failed launches. And so it doesn't matter if you have that core following. All that matters is you have strong marketing. I should make that quote. Core following, strong marketing. I love that. So the shift here that we need to make in the first stage is go from chasing after views and trying to get the most amount of views possible to attracting clients, because the content you make when you're trying to chase views is going to be very different than the content you make to attract clients. And the goal here is we want to turn viewers into buyers, but it starts with attracting the right viewer, right? So how do we attract the right viewer, right? What goes into that? Well, I like to think of it as an equation, right? I just read Alex Hormozi's, new book, $100 Million Money Models, and he loves to do equations. And so I want to do that for you guys right now. So the equation looks like this. messaging. Okay, this is the first step in the equation. If your messaging isn't clear or doesn't speak to the right person, and won't matter how many views you get, they won't turn to clients. This is so true, right? Going back to the analogy in the park, I can get thousands of people to look at me, but if the messaging isn't right, it's not going to turn them into a client. Okay, so the messaging is the promise, the problem you solve, or the desire you create. It needs to be clear, it needs to be simple, it needs to resonate with the desires, and removes the pain without like the cleverness and the, all that kind of stuff, right? So without the clarity, right, no one will listen to your message. So you need to be clear on what is it that you do and how is it different from everyone else, right? And a pro tip is you want to be a painkiller, not a vitamin, okay? A vitamin would be like this: 3 cool YouTube hacks to get more views. Yeah, it's a nice to have, but it's not really life-changing. Versus how to get 5 to 50 new clients in 30 days without ads is directly tied to the revenue and the pain, right? So one is a vitamin, it's weak, content tips, how to grow on YouTube. The other is a painkiller, how to turn YouTube into a #1 sales channel, right? So the difference is, just because you have the messaging, there's depths to this, right? So you have to make sure you really are focusing on the painkiller style messaging, okay? So that's part 1 in this equation. Part 2 in the messaging, in stage 1, the attraction, is what we call the POV, okay? The POV is your point of view, the unique angle that makes your message stand out from everyone else saying the same thing. It's your filter, your lens on your message, your beliefs, your stances, your unique angles that separates you from everyone else. So as an example, I talked about how views don't pay the bills, buyers do, right? That's a very unique POV. When in traditional, if you go on YouTube, you look up traditional YouTube advice, it's all about how to get the most amount of views, right? And so this challenges that beliefs. It's a different point of view, right? So let's look at another example. Dan Coe, he kind of owned this idea of you are the niche. So the common belief that most people had, that you need to niche down, right, to succeed. But he said you don't need to niche down. You need to productize your knowledge into a category of one. And he called it you are the niche. And he blew up his personal brand because of this unique POV. You see, why a POV attracts a certain type of person is because it stands out of the crowd. It's a black sheep across all the different white sheep, and everyone's following a traditional belief or path, and you are paving a new path for them to go down. So this is why it attracts people. It gives them the clarity, the conviction, and the identity of who you're helping, what you're helping them do, and it's the perfect way to stand out in this market when it comes to your messaging and attracting, okay? So when you combine your messaging and your POV, you instantly become more attractive, right? Now, the last thing I'm going to reveal is not the editing style. It's not the, aesthetically appealing thumbnail, and it's not the camera you use, okay? The last piece of the pie for attracting, right, your buyer is you, okay? Content alone doesn't attract the clients. The person inside the content does. Let's look at this holistically for a second here. Let me just turn this off. If you took away Alex Hormozi's social media following, his fancy studio, his huge team, and you're left with just him creating content in his closet, would you still watch his videos? I don't know about you, but the answer for me would be yes. And I think it would be yes for you, is because it's not the content that attracts the clients, it's the man or woman inside the content that does. People don't buy coaching, they buy into coaches. So who you are is just, if not more important than the content you create, because the content is just a vehicle to give your POV, to give your message, right? It is your conviction, your energy, your fire. This is what attracts clients. This is what makes you more attractive than others. This is what dating is all about. This is what, business is done for years. This is what it's about, right? The person who wins the business has more conviction, more energy. It's the person that goes into it, right? There's this famous quote that I absolutely love that I want to share with you right here. Light yourself on fire with passion, and people will come from miles to watch you burn. People are drawn to authenticity and conviction, and those who truly burn with their dedication and enthusiasm becomes a beacon that inspires and captivates people. Now, a simpler way of saying it is your vibe attracts your tribe, right? If you are stressed out and you have a scarcity mindset, you don't know where your next dollar is coming from, it's going to show in the content. So it doesn't even matter if you have the right messaging. If you are not dialed in, it's not going to attract, it's not going to work the same, right? So you have to stop trying to be this better or perfect version of yourself and instead lean into your authenticity and lean into being different, being you, okay? No one can outbeat being you. This is how we attract the right buyer, and this is how we build strong marketing, okay? If you want to turn a viewer into a buyer, the first step is to attract the right person, and to attract the right person, you have to focus on your messaging, you have to know your unique POV, and you have to actually have the conviction and energy, right, to be attractive, right? Now, I don't mean copying my energy, because maybe you're more calm, cool, collected, and that's your vibe. Like, whatever your vibe is, be that, right? Because that's what's going to help you stand out. That's what's help you be different. That's what's going to help you actually to attract the clients. Now, stage 1 complete. Let's move on to stage 2 in how to turn a viewer into a buyer. Stage 2 is all about trust. How to turn attention into belief, okay? No one will buy from you if they don't know, like, and trust you. So trust is a very important thing. And in the recent years, it's no longer a linear process. And no longer like, oh, I get trust by doing X, Y, and Z. Trust is an equation, okay? So here are the 3 things you need to instill trust in your content to turn a viewer into a buyer. Number 1 is proof, okay? Pretty self-explanatory. You need to show results. You need to show testimonials, screenshots, case studies. You need to borrow credibility from clients, from, authority figures in your space, and you need to answer the question, has this worked for me, right? How has this worked for me? So you need to show them and not tell them. So here is an example slide I showed you earlier of my proof, right? Helping clients get hundreds of thousands of views, get DMs where people are ready to buy, getting 300 followers in the span of 4.5 days and hundreds of views, getting 17,000 followers in the past 30 days, almost 700,000 or just shy over $700,000 in 6 months, you name it, right? Tons and tons of proof, and this helps to build trust. Now, the next piece of the pie, next piece of the puzzle is process, okay? Trust is also built through, you have a process, you have a framework that I can go through to get some of the results you have. Because if you did it willy-nilly, like, oh, I created random content and got random results, and yeah, you want to sign up? No one's going to do that, right? So having a clear framework or system, aka your method, it makes you look organized, credible, relatable, and this answers the question, will this work for me? Okay? So having a process and having a mechanism and a name for it, this is what helps build credibility in building trust, okay? So now that you have proof, process, the last thing we need to build trust, and this is the hardest thing for everyone here, I already know it is time, okay? Google did a study that takes 7 hours of content before they can buy from you, okay? 7 hours of content consumed. So I want to make this into perspective for you. Long form versus short form, right? Because this is a constant argument in the entrepreneurship content creation space. Like, what's more effective, short form or long form? just looking at time, hours consumed, if you're trying to get 7 hours of content, and let's say you're making 1-minute reels, you need 420 videos to generate that much trust with one person. 420 videos. Have you ever sat down and watched 420 videos on TikTok, on LinkedIn, on Instagram, on Facebook? I don't think so, right? So the alternative is you can get to 7 hours of content with just 14 videos. So what to you seems easier? Obviously, long-form content, fewer uploads is needed, and deeper trust is built. Where short-form really shines is getting awareness, getting attention. So in the attraction phase, it is a great mechanism to attract the right viewer. But in order to turn them into turn a viewer into a buyer, you need trust, and the quickest way to do that is with long-form. That's why we use YouTube, right? So shorts get you seen, long-form gets you trusted. Okay, so that is stage 2. In how to turn a viewer into a buyer. You attract them with the right messaging, the right POV, and having the right conviction in being yourself. And then you build trust through proof, through process, and through time, right? Unfortunately, there's no series of steps someone can take. I've had a customer buy from me after watching 4 videos of mine, and then I had someone who spent a year watching my channel before buying. So trust is not linear. The buying cycle is not linear. It's not like traditional funnels anymore. It's very different. It's this process. It's this flow. Okay. Now, stage 3, right? The most fun stage is the buying stage. How to turn trust into action. So how do we get them to actually buy? How do we get them to convert? Okay. Again, as you see, this is also an equation. There's 2 things that we need to do in order for them to take action, which is to buy, right? Because they can have trust with you. They can like you, know you, trust you. But what's the incentive for them to take action and buy? Well, the first incentive is desire, right? This is all about painting the transformation. What if instead of chasing leads, your calendar is full every week with inbound clients from YouTube? Imagine never needing to cold DM, yet closing high-ticket clients because they're already trusting you before the call. Your YouTube channel becomes your #1 sales rep, attracting, nurturing, and closing clients for you. This is the desire that many coaches, consultants, and entrepreneurs have when it comes to YouTube, right? We're not here to become YouTubers. We're here to build a channel that becomes our 24/7 sales rep, that becomes our attracting, our nurturing, and our converting mechanism. Imagine an entire funnel inside one YouTube channel, right? Who doesn't want that, right? So painting the desire is what we need in order for them to convert from a viewer into a buyer. Now, the second thing we need is urgency. Why should I act now? Also known as the FOMO factor, right? So this is when you're adding scarcity. There's limited spots, there's bonuses, it's closing soon. You want to paint the picture of the cost of waiting, right? So how long do you want to wait to having unpredictable leads and being stressed about when your next dollar is going to come, or having to run a very energy draining and very revenue draining sales team? How long are you going to wait to be in pain, right? You're painting the picture of the pain, and you're creating you're answering the question, why should I do this today? Right? So why should you do this now is because YouTube is only going to get more competitive. More and more people are getting to YouTube and understanding that this is the most powerful asset to attract, to nurture, and to convert clients, right? Alex Hormozi is doing it, Gary Vee is doing it, Dan Martell's doing it, Diary C, the list goes on of huge entrepreneurs who not only built their personal brand, but helped grow their business because of this powerful platform. And so the more you wait, the harder it will be for you to get a slice of the pie. And so you want to act now, right? So that is the attraction, trust, buy. This is how we build strong marketing, and this is how we turn viewers' eyeballs into buyers. Now, I want to also show you this entire process in action with this guy right here, okay? His name is Nick, and he won the school games, okay? And if you don't know about School, I talked about earlier, is a platform where people build communities, and the School Games is a competition where people compete to make the most amount of money in a month. And Nick won. I know the screenshot says he's third, but he did win. He won the School Games. He made close to $300,000 in his business, and this was his entire funnel. He posted YouTube videos and sent them to his school community, and they bought. So this is the content flow system in action. This is the attraction, trust, and buy in action. Okay, so I'm going to walk you through it right now. So he made a video just like this, and his only CTA was he had his school link here. Watch me and sell an AI service in 10 hours. So obviously this is very attractive, right? He's calling out who he is working with, who he wants to attract, right? In the video, I don't know how long the video is. He must have built significant trust to make over $300,000 per month in his business. And he sent them to this simple landing page, right? Landing page, people join, they pay $184 a month. And he has over 2.6 thousand members who are paying him $145 every single month to get access to him and his knowledge. So he's using this process right here, right? Attracting the right viewer, building trust in his videos, and then sending them to a landing page, which in his case is School, to buy. This is all you need to turn a viewer into a buyer. And he's not the only one. This is a list of the top 20 school game winners, and they all are using YouTube to turn viewers into buyers. And so the question isn't if YouTube can work, okay? I think it's safe to say YouTube can definitely work. It's whether or not you will let it become your number one growth engine, your number one sales channel. And so if Nick and the top school game leaders can do it, then so can you. And so if you want my help, okay, to turn your YouTube channel into your number one sales channel, I recommend you join my free school community. It won't be free forever, and this is not fake scarcity. This is real scarcity. I'm going to be revealing all the things that I do that my clients pay me tens of thousands of dollars for, to you guys, the systems, the blueprints, the frameworks, just everything I've learned in my 7 to 8 years doing this in this community right here. And as a thank you for joining, the founding members are going to get access to my onboarding quiz. Sorry, I can't even speak anymore. My onboarding quiz, which all my clients go through. And this quiz will give you a score on how ready your YouTube channel is to attracting and converting clients. From that score, you'll get a idea of where you're at, right? What your score is, what you can improve on. And then from there, you can go into the course and figure out, okay, what should I focus on first? Is it the process? Is it the strategy? Is it clarity? Whatever it might be, right? So without further ado, thank you guys so much for tuning in for so long. This has been awesome. Thank you guys for sticking around. And hey, go subscribe to this channel. I'm going to be revealing more tips just like this every single week. So thank you guys so much. I'll see you guys in the next video. Now, if you have any questions, put it in the comments. I'm going to be answering all the questions and actually making videos from them. So if you have a question, put it in the comments and I'll make a future video about it. Now, without further ado, let's sign off. Thank you guys so much. Peace.